Let me start by saying that, man, Saturday hurt our kids, our staff, and I'm sure it hurt our incredible fans who have been just to have 5 straight home games to open the season have been just marvelous. They've been, and our students and band, cheerleaders, just they've been incredible, and I'm sure they were hurt just like our kids felt gutted, and staff and everybody a part of it. So. We're judged on results, and it's my responsibility to bring results to this program that restore its glory, and that builds, not only restores the glory of the Auburn football team on the field, but also I firmly believe that part of my job is to build up Auburn men, and that is one thing that I do believe and see occurring even through the hardships that we're going through, and it's something that we take very seriously. And when you talk to them, I feel like we're accomplishing good things there. Now, obviously, we want to add to not only building up men first, but returning the glory to Auburn football. We're working tirelessly to do both. Truthfully, that's why I teach truth lessons on Monday and Thursday about life, the lessons we can learn from the game of football for that. Our fan base has done their part, which makes not being 5-0 very hard to swallow when we certainly had our chances to do that. My ask is to stick with us through the growing pains and support our guys and efforts and our recruiting efforts. Because the results are going to come. We're not that far off, and hope the 25 recruiting class sees that and knows they have a chance to come in and immediately impact this program, just like the 24 class is currently doing. But building does take time. I think you all are aware of what we inherited. Our AD has done a marvelous job of explaining that, and he did to me before I took the job with the previous recruiting classes not being what you need to compete at a high level, and 57 transfers out in the previous 3 years before my arrival. So building takes time, but our process, when complete, is going to make everyone very, very proud and to wear the orange and blue. It's making ground. The process is. I see it. The record doesn't reflect it. Even when playing, 12 freshmen and I think combination of the 49 guys that played Saturday, there was 24, if you count our kicker, 24 freshmen and sophomores that played the majority of the snaps, and I use that for my recruiting pitch. We'll play you early. So let's finish this 25 class up and give us some more depth that we need to compete in this great conference. We must continue to get better in every facet, and that's my job, including coaching situational football better, putting our players in the best possible situations for their abilities to provide them success. Doesn't really matter if I think something's a great call, great decision, if it doesn't match up with the capabilities of our young men, and I can't put them in those situations. And I told our players post-game that I couldn't be more proud of them, their effort, their preparation. They deserved to win that game, and they played their guts out, and can't fault a single play on that film on effort. And told our staff that honestly it's one of the better game plan that a staff has put together in my time. The offensive guys under Coach Nix and Kent and Jake and Ben and Marcus and obviously all the supporting staff. I thought the plan was excellent. I thought the plan on defense was excellent, and I was proud of both the players and the staffs. It was a really good plan. There are many positives to build from that game. If you look at 90% of the plays, there's a lot of really good things that I hope can carry over as we get ready for a top-ranked team in Georgia. We certainly can't let the hurt and the sting of losing a game that you feel like you should have won tarry too long, because we've got some very tough tasks facing us coming up with 2 top 10 teams on the road. It'll be our first October's a road challenge for us. We haven't experienced that yet, and again, as we mentioned earlier, we're playing about 50% of our guys are young guys, and they haven't experienced what we're getting ready to experience. So that's going to be a challenge for us, but one that we're looking forward to and be excited to do. Some great positives from Saturday. I mean, DeMarcus Riddick led us in tackles. True freshmen Simmons and Coleman combined for almost 150 yards receiving. Offense had 26 first downs, I believe, and almost 500 yards of offense. And defense held them to 290 yards and 2 for 11 on third downs, which is a huge improvement from the previous weeks on our third down work. And man, it's just it's frustrating to sit here and tell you all that and to know what the results are. That's the complicated thing of taking ownership of that and still pointing out the positives. Whether it's that, I mean, offensively we're number 3 in the conference for fewest penalties. We're number 5 in the conference for passing. We're number 1 in the conference for explosive pass plays per completion. We're number 5 in total offense, or maybe that's 8 total offense, and 5 in yards per carry. I mean, there's a lot of positives that are not matching up with the results. There's some negatives too. We're 16th in the conference in time of possession. We're 16th in turnover margin, and that's the things that have really cost us. We lost the 3 games we've lost by an average of 7.7 points, and in those games have had 11 turnovers. And so there's a lot of positives to build upon, and extremely proud of the effort that our kids and staff gave to prepare for a really good football team in Oklahoma, particularly defensively. They're one of the best, and now we and thankful again for our wonderful fans and their support. And now we've got to get ready for a very difficult Georgia team who's loaded with talent and experience and maturity, and obviously well coached, and great respect for Kirby. The job he's done and the classes that he's stacked there make them one of the nation's elite.
Hugh, what is, from a coaching perspective, what is your biggest regret from the Oklahoma game? Is there a call or a situation?
Yeah, I'm very transparent. I've watched it like 3 times, and I usually stop at 2. But all right, let's start. First half easily could have been 24-7 at half. We get down inside I guess to the 1 or 2. Had 2 shots from there and went with a package that we've been working for several weeks, and truthfully regret not giving it to Jarquez down there at least once. You're going to miss some field goals. It'd been nice to have, got that one right before half for sure. It was not certainly he's very capable of making those, and but that happens. So kind of the first half, it's really the not scoring the touchdown that thought the offense did a good job get us in field position to kick the field goal. I thought that was a really good drive. Did not. This is a weird situation, but the play right before we had to go Mayday, and it was good to see us. We executed Mayday really well. You just didn't really want to have to do that. The ball should have went to the end zone, but that really wasn't Payton's fault, because the one scenario I'm getting way into, but I want to own everything that needs to be owned. There was a look that they would give from time to time that our whole plan was we've got to check to a max call to get us protected, but that was a third down thought, and with that came, as soon as he gave the signal for max, with that came all the routes. And so the call I had made to take the shot to the end zone when he had to go max, it reverted to the third down routes in normal scenario, which wasn't terrible because we were prepared for Mayday, and you got to go out there and make those. But there's so many things that dang happen in a game, then you're like, oh my gosh, we had a great plan for that on third down, but we didn't talk about it being third down with one play to go, and so you learn from that. But that's the first half. The second half, truthfully, loved the plan. Thought it was effective. The 2 3rd and 4s, ones in the third quarter where we missed another field goal. Wish we had a sack that pushed us back a little bit on that 3rd and 4. Wish I would have just played it like 2-down territory and maybe ran it and see if I could have got it to 4th and 1. And then obviously the 3rd and 4 interception for a touchdown. In hindsight, wish I would have just controlled it and ran it and punted it. That's what the film says, and that's some of that second hindsight. And Payton's mature, but sometimes I probably just need to, you would like to, the conversation on the helmet stuff is good, and it really worked well for us for most of the game. You wish you would just throw that away or take the sack and we punt it. But again, in hindsight, just let me control it and let's run the ball and then punt it and see if we can't play defense.
Yeah, you talked about DeMarcus and Malik and Jalen Crawford a little bit. Can you talk about their experience and their impact that they had on the game?
Yeah, well, they have no experience, and that's
in the game.
Oh, I mean, it's nothing like playing in a game. I mean, you start to see, and again, without being negative toward any other players or anything, but you start to see that we're recruiting kids that can make a difference, that can run and that can tackle. I mean, we hadn't run a quarterback down that scrambled in a while, and here goes Riddick in the game, and he doesn't know half of what to do really with every call right now. But when you're an athlete, and the guy just, he runs a very, very fast quarterback down on several occasions, and that's the type of recruiting we've got to have and that we are doing and going to add to us hopefully very soon. So, I thought Jalen Crawford played solid also, and Blockton's playing a ton of snaps, and of course all the receivers, and we're playing a lot of young kids for sure, and proud to see them kind of start having some successes. And T. Love got in the game and did some good things, and that's good to see. And but we're playing a lot of freshmen and sophomores, but good to see them get those experiences in the game.
You talked a lot about how you like to see your offense when they have 5, 6, 7 yards per rush, and Jarquez was averaging almost 6 on Saturday. And it seems a lot of the offensive play calls are on the RPOs or options and letting Payton make that decision. Is there a hesitancy to just call straight run plays, or kind of what's your mindset on that when you have Jarquez who is running it so well?
Yeah, that's a balancing act. There were a lot of runs where we did. It was handoff all the way. Others, we still believe in giving the option because, you can't – this league is – that team we played against don't give up many rushing yards. You go look, and they are loaded with NFL guys. Those safeties and linebackers and ends are NFL dudes. And, I mean, there's one run play we have with there's automatic give, and that number 2. Good God, he's one of the best I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, he makes the tackle on Jarquez for a 1-yard gain, and he's lined up 14 yards deep. I mean, he's pretty dang good. So there's a balancing act. You can do that, but then everybody's going to yell and scream when you do that, and they have too many guys that you have nobody to block him. And so you've got to, I think it's a balancing act for sure, but we definitely want 27 to get his share of touches. But when you do throw the RPO, it's our job to make sure that it's thrown to the right RPO. And that's where we still are struggling a little bit. And so we got to keep working to get that corrected.
You mentioned the first half goal line situation. Had some mixed success in red zone and short yardage. Are you a little surprised or disappointed at that? You've done quite a few different things.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed that we didn't score that touchdown, obviously. And truthfully, the first time we did it, it should have scored, and we had. Again, I don't ever want to sound like I don't know, everybody seems to think when I tell you what really happened that I throw somebody under the bus. I'm not. I mean, but on the first one, we've lost B. Frazier to a broken foot, who's usually in that position, and we had to sub in for him somebody that's an old lineman that doesn't get all those looks a tight end gets, and they gave us a squirrely look, and he did not go to the right spot, and thus it ate up 2 of our pullers. And if we could have got those 2 pullers around, I think we walk in. But that's on us as coaches to when you lose somebody, it's next man up, and you got to get them ready. And we obviously didn't have one guy ready for that play, and so that's frustrating when you watch that. And the play, not the last one or not that one, the play before that. They had a really good call on, but if we totally understood, again, back to coaching, if we totally understood every single look, I think we walk in on that one too. But it's hard, man, to show because they're game planning too. And it's hard to show every single look, but when you look at the tape and you say the facts are, if we had covered this look, it is a really good call and it's going to score. And when you look back at the practice tape, we never showed them that particular look. Obviously, we show them as many as we think we can, but so we've got to just continue to hopefully we get the right looks taught to our kids so that we can execute those short yardage plays.
Coach, outside of the interception in the fourth quarter, Payton had a very good day statistically, with 6 or 7 on passes to 20 yards or more down the field. Can you talk about the day he had, what he was seeing, and whether this performance cements in your mind your decision to give him the job first?
I couldn't be. I told him after the game, man. I thought not just him, but I thought he laid it on the line for our kids, for our team, for our program. I mean, he sacrificed his body. He gave himself up many times to get us first downs. I thought he did a really nice job of. We have an oh crap rule, and that means if my progression is not there pretty quick, then man, let's put our foot in the ground and let's go that way and put us in 2nd and 8. We can live with that, and I thought he really played solid. Obviously, he wishes that he has one throwback, and as everybody does. But man, I thought he really laid it on the line for us and for our team, and it's kind of what we expect out of him at the start of the season, and moving forward is what we'll expect. Yeah, it's hard to say he's not the starter in these kind of games. I think he gives us our best chance to win. As long as he keeps taking care of the football like he did.
Your players seem pretty devastated after that loss. You've got a very tough October in front of you. Do you and your staff have to
when you come
No, that's the media. You know, I don't know. Media is into this spiraling and keep them together. And you know, is that really? I mean, if that is a question about your team, and then you're probably not going to have a whole lot of success. But that, man, in life, you don't get the chance to spiral and then have success. And it's the same way in football. And that'll be my lesson today that I've had planned, obviously, since back in the summer is one that I think is perfect for our moment that I'm going to teach on and give some real life examples from myself and how at times in life you've got to draw the line on what am I really in this for, and what did I really sign up for, and you know, what happens when you sign up for a job and it doesn't go the way you want. Do you spiral and I don't know. I mean, what's that? I don't think there's. I don't know. I guess we're just made there. There's not another option, man. We get an opportunity this week to go and play one of the top teams in the country, and with a young team that is building, and we see it as another great opportunity. Yeah, it's a tough October. It's going to be, you know, some great challenges, and we could certainly lose some games, and we could certainly win those games. But every week is a new life of its own every day, and you expect your staff and you expect your team, man, to be ready to go and fight again. And yeah, it hurts and it stings, but you're not the only one that's gotten a bad report. There's a lot of people in life today that gotten a bad report last week and had difficult times. And man, maybe we can be an example of during difficult times, and when everybody wants to tear you down or beat you up or praise you or either one, you still go to work and you still do the same thing with the same enthusiasm, the same passion, the same energy, because you love what you do and you love who you do it with, and most importantly, you love who you do it for. And we've got a great place to represent in doing that. So, man, we're not going to blink as a staff, and I don't expect our kids to either.
You mentioned this game plan defensively against Oklahoma. You thought was well executed. You said last week you thought they played hard against Arkansas. How much do you lean on that group as being a constant as they've been kind of so far?
Yeah, they've other than third and longs, they've been really constant and containing the quarterback with rush lanes. So you take this game, the improvement is, you can't argue the improvement on containing rush lanes and the third down defense. I thought our kids and our staff did a marvelous job. I mean, it comes down to the few plays we described earlier when you asked me about that, and then defensively it comes down to truthfully, the explosive pass play that we gave up in the fourth quarter. That quarterback was going to have one or two, but I'm glad it came early. And then after that, I thought our rush lanes contained him pretty well. The big explosive play there, later in the game was one that really hurt us. And but outside of that, man, I thought our defense played phenomenal.
Third row.
Hugh Dre's been super consistent for y'all since the start of the season. Wide receiver Malcolm, last couple of weeks, about 5 or 6 touches a game, big plays from him. Are you really starting to see the light kind of come on for him at this point as a guy who wasn't here early, as an early role, that's been able to carve out a role?
Yeah, I think you're again. They're just young, and it takes time. There's a process to developing, and there's very few, and there's some that come in and are totally ready, and most of them probably got there early. But you're starting to see him start to understand a few more things. He's still got things to learn. Like we threw him two bubble screens, and for 18 years now, he's up in Alexander City, he's taken that and just outrun everybody to the sideline and been able to do it. And here it's not quite that way, but he's going to learn that, man, if he puts his foot in the ground on a couple of those are like 10-yard gains. And So there's still things he's learning. The great thing is he's so fun to coach, man. He wants to be coached, and he loves to play the game. And so you're starting to see Perry had a great week of practice. We got to get him in more games. And, I thought all of those, DeMarcus Riddick, I mean, we could go on and on because we're so young. Of course, Cam's coming on too and starting to get healthy again. And it's good to see all those young kids have success.
Coach, you mentioned in your opening statement about what you and your staff have inherited here. In year 2, was the roster so barren and was the previous regime's job so poor in recruiting that fans shouldn't expect more than a 2 and 3 start when you have 5 home games to begin the year?
Yeah, I won't comment on what happened before I was here. The roster was what it was. Everybody can make their own determination on that, on how many people left and the recruiting rankings and what was brought in. So you can look at that and make your own determination. Should the fans expect more than a 2 and 3 start? Absolutely. I mean, we could easily, like I said in my opening statement, be sitting here being 5-0, but we didn't get it done. And we can point to the coaching errors, and we can point to the 11 turnovers and all of those things. It's a mixture, and it's our job to get it. We could point to our youth, but we've got like I said earlier, that we can sit here and talk about all those things, but we're a result-oriented profession, and those results didn't go our way, so. There's no way that I can sit here and say that those 3 games weren't winnable. And so that's the toughest thing for me to say to them, because I know what the sacrifices are that all of our boosters and families and supporters and administration and everybody pours into supporting this program. And when you don't deliver on that's one thing to sit here and if I said, man, we just got our tails whipped and they were just better than us and deeper than us, and I'm not taking anything away from those teams. They found a way to win the games, but we found a way to lose them in my mind, and that's what's the hardest thing about sitting here with the 2 and 3 record.
Coach, you mentioned a second ago in responding to Brian's question about spiraling and how that's not an option. But you have some young guys on this team who kind of lost a lot of football in their high school careers, and now they're having to deal with losing 3 out of 4 weeks. What's your message been to them about staying in the right position?
Welcome to life. If it hasn't hit you, if you never experienced that in high school, difficult gut punches and losses, just keep living. They'll come, and man, there's no other group I'd rather do this with and help teach you lessons through this time. And you see that we're not far off, and you're going to be a huge role in turning this program back around to being where it belongs. So, man, stay the course.
You're talking about young guys. Cam chasing down a guy that had a couple of good blocks.
I'm glad you brought that up, man.
What does that show guys, the effort that it takes sometimes?
Well, the strain to win. We'll show some tape today, and obviously I think our team played extremely, extremely hard. But there's still a few plays there that, man, if we strain a little harder to sustain a block a little longer, that run becomes 30 yards. Or, man, if we don't loaf right here, that gang tackle, your assist on this guy that has him, instead of him falling forward 4 yards, man, that's a no gain. And so there's still, obviously, I'm really proud of how hard they play, but there's still those times where, all right, let's strain a little harder to win. And there's no better tape of showing what our young kids are like than Cam Coleman on that interception. I mean, being relentless in chasing him down, and almost got there to get him.